LDNRBS. We got another batch of special guests in the room. Capital Moments. Give them a clap, guys. Give them a clap. Most definitely. They're looking at me like we don't normally get claps like this. I don't understand what's going on. But guys, first off, tell us what is Capital Moments and who are you guys?
Yeah, so Capital Moments, if you don't know about us already, get to know. Capital Moments, we're a social enterprise. We promote commercial awareness to young people, be they students, graduates or young professionals. We do this through a number of different methods, namely our website, where we allow young people to write about politics, business, finance, lifestyle, whether that be travel, football, or anything like fashion. We're also quite prominent on social media, so you guys might have seen us on Twitter. We've got a number of followers on Twitter where again we kind of promote and distribute news, where it be kind of accueing to politics, again finance, but also kind of put out cheeky stuff here and there just to kind of keep the masses entertained.
I was told this today. Get into this.
Couple cheeky tweets here and there. You have to follow us to find out.
True,
so
indeed.
make sure you follow us. That's at Capital Moments on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram under the same name, on Facebook as well, and LinkedIn. We've got a couple videos on YouTube, so check that out as well. And lastly, we also do events. So namely, we do a number of workshops at universities, again giving kind of commercial awareness workshops, kind of educating the youth on how they can get aware about things affecting them. And also do events for kind of young people, kind of graduates and above. So if you think of trying to get on the property ladder, we did an event in association with Barclays, kind of instructing the masses on how they can go about getting kind of a mortgage, how they can invest in property in the long run. So we kind of do stuff like that. Most recently we did an event in association with TFL on financial management.
Nice.
That was in April. But the biggest thing coming out kind of soon that you guys should look out for, obviously we're serious guys but we like to be fun as well. So we're doing an event next month on the 24th of August in the city, Revolutions Bar. Look out for that. CM Chat and Chill. An opportunity again to educate yourself on fashion, business and kind of self-development, but also having a kind of chill aspect with a couple of games and networking. So if you're free, come down and get a ticket. Tickets are out right now, but obviously we know July's been a heavy month with all the turn up, so make sure you buy one this payday on Friday. So yeah, look out for that event. That's on our social media as well.
And what made you guys, or what brought you into a position where you wanted to make this?
Basically this was 2014, right? And we were all doing our own, we all had our own platforms. I had my own blog where I was writing politics. Lex had his own thing where he was writing economics, and there was 5 of us. We all had our own thing, and then obviously a lot of us have known each other since we were young. So it's just like we all knew everyone was switched on. We knew what everyone was about. So it's just like, okay guys, let's come together, let's make a proper platform, let's put this all together and we can make something big. And so credit to one of the other guys who came up with the name Capital Moments. He was actually in the shower.
That was me still.
He's proud of this one. He's proud of this one.
No, this is no gas. I came up with a name.
That was Josh.
No, go ask Josh the real truth. It was me. But I'll swear on my life it was me. Just have to let them know. Look, we'll go and continue.
I won't come to your funeral with you. Obviously the name came about. So just literally put it all together. We just tried a couple of models out, and then early 2015 that's when we decided to really kick on. We launched the website. Twitter just blew. I think it's that from the start, that constant presence, and then people would literally just come in to Capital Moments and then sharing it, because obviously people weren't reading newspapers. No one's really going to, like, back then as well, like Sky News and that, their social media was dead. It's only like now they're posting videos and that. So back then you literally had to go to all sorts of different places, and then all of a sudden you have Capital Moments that brings everything to you, from the BBC, from Sky News, from elsewhere. So like literally everything about anything. So like, because our first goal when we first made it was, okay, cool, who's this for, what we doing it for? And it was like, cool, we want to make sure that no one gets to 25 and starts thinking, right, I wish I knew this stuff at 16.
True indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So if you start,
very common thing too.
Exactly. So if you start on that social media, obviously back then Twitter was popping as well, conversationally, socially. So obviously it's the perfect way to kind of almost train people. You kind of train people to like change how they use things, change how they view things, innit? So that's really what Capital Moment's been about from the start. And then we've just been keeping it going. Like Lex said, it's a social enterprise, so it's for the people. So whatever the people need, we bring. So over the years we've asked, what more do you want from us? How do you want us to help you going forwards? And they've come up with the feedback, and we've delivered. So we're happy with that.
So obviously you've identified like a massive gap in the market there. What's the next step? Do you look at people like things like Forbes and like kind of aspire to like monopolize the market, or are you comfortable doing what you're doing and helping like you're the people that you've come from kind of thing?
Yeah, of course. Like like from the start we've almost been like, we don't want to limit ourselves, because it's like right at the start we were just an online platform that just had articles, right? And we've incorporated so many like elements into it to like diversify our offering. So right now it literally is just finding loads of different ways to diversify, grow the team. I think we grew the team again this year, 6-member joined, and we have so many other people just doing things in loads of different areas. So like obviously big business houses like Forbes and whatever, we're almost like a niche in that market. So we can also diversify in our little niche and make it a lot bigger. So for us, it's just literally growth by any organic growth. As long as the growth is organic, we're fine. We're down for whatever.
Also, I was going to ask too, today's media. Now, as we all know, I'm a geek. I watch everything, literally, in terms of media too, in terms of everything. What is you guys' perception on today's media, yesterday's media, like just in general?
It's an interesting one, right? Because like when you look at the Times now, look at the US president, Donald Trump. How does he distribute news on Twitter? It's amazing.
True, indeed.
Just today, for example, he announced that transgender people can't join the army, and he did that on his Twitter feed.
On his personal Twitter,
not even on the POTUS one. So it's the way that media is distributed now. You have to come along with the times. Is what we saw as a gap in the market, right? Like as they said, no one's going to their newspaper. People maybe go into a website, but when you want to hear news and when you get information, you hit Twitter straight away. You get your information. Like when Brexit was happening, people on Twitter nuts.
Even
like our Twitter blew
I found out about Grenfell from Twitter, not
people,
from BBC or anything like that.
Reason being, because people that are there live at the situation are tweeting, are sharing pictures, videos. So you got to be kind of up to speed with what the media distribution kind of form and channel is, and that's what we're trying to do. So just seeing how technologies move forward, we're trying to keep up with that.
How do you feel about places like Sky News, BBC News at the moment, in terms of the relevant stuff that is happening at the moment? What's your guys' perception on them specifically?
It's funny because even when you look at even the election, look at how all of the traditional media, focused on the election. They're like, you have to be like this to win an election, you have to do this, you have to do this, people don't want this, everyone thinks this person is unelectable, no one's going to back this. And then on the day they turn out to be all wrong.
True,
because they're just so out of touch, because all of their methods are out of touch. Same way, it's almost like you have to almost like be able to be relevant to the society that you're in. So even like with stuff like tragedies such as Grenfell, and obviously our hearts continue to go out to those affected.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Even the way that they handled it as if we were still in 1965 Britain, where no one wants to hear really what's going on, because everyone just wants to keep calm and carry on. But for us, it's like, no, we want to know how many people died, we want to know how many people were affected, what's next, we want to know what things have been put in place for survivors, that kind of stuff. Whereas the traditional media are trying to be careful and not rock the boat.
I feel like they're finding it hard now to like hide from us. Before they could hide whatever they wanted to. We would be like, okay, the news said this, but now it's getting harder and harder.
Because all you need is somebody to tweet a hashtag and just blow every single narrative. You can just get someone just to tweet something and that narrative's blown out of the water.
So what are your thoughts on like the Justice for Rash thing at the moment? Because obviously that's being covered completely differently in the mainstream media than it is on Twitter, and I feel like I've seen the videos. I feel like Twitter's like the real story of it. Yeah,
it's obviously that kind of stuff is close to home, because we're all from environments in which there's a Rash that went to my school, there's a Rash that lives around the corner from me. So that kind of thing, I think we feel it more because we're actually from that environment. And with the traditional media houses, they have a more macro view as well. So as far as they're concerned, it's like, okay, a lot of our viewers, our readership are in places like Cumbria. So they're trying to work out how are we going to present this news to a very diverse, like almost like socially diverse audience. And that's the issue that they're having, because for us, we know the nitty gritty. We know what happened. We know why it happened, and it's very, very difficult for them to
to
try
present
and
that.
present that to
because
a very wide
I feel
audience.
like it's a London thing, because I remember when Brexit was going on, as soon as I was driving on the motorway, as soon as I got out of London, I started seeing Brexit vote out thing. Like literally, I got to like Beaconsfield services, and it was like
country.
vote out.
But then that's the difference between like a massive group like BBC or Sky and being Capital Moments. You got boots on the ground to understand what the people are thinking. But then again, from our side as well, being in our London bubble, we don't understand how those people in kind of smaller towns think as well. So a key example you said was Brexit. Like no one thought all these out of towners were going to vote out, but what happened? Like literally, we ended up leaving the EU because of us not seeing that. And it's with a lot of things as well. Like we see Donald Trump become the president of the United States, because again, a lot of people that live in these inner cities, these urban places, think one way and don't realise people have opposing views. So
I also believe as well, though, like it was kind of so in terms of Brexit, stay or leave, I do feel like it's our fault as well, because if you just attack someone, say you're racist, you're racist, you're racist,
100%. People then think, okay, you think I'm like this, alright, I'm gonna vote how I want.
But there was no dialogue.
There was no dialogue and open analysis and discussion between two parties, right? But I don't know, I think generally with Brexit's happened now, right? But as in the way it went about, I don't think people were educated in the right way. People kind of sold certain stories by both sides on each side of the kind of argument, and it ended up what it was.
Is there any element of, now I want an honest answer over here too, is there any element of bias within Capital Moments in terms of the news that you might put out in the future, or will it be a completely straight down the middle situation?
For us, we've always been neutral ourselves. Why? Because like if you go to my personal Twitter page, you might get something else. But if you go on Capital Moments, you're definitely gonna get something neutral. Why? Because from the very beginning, our focus was we want to give people the opportunity to learn, gain an opinion, debate opinions, and refine their opinion, right? You can't do that. And I think it's all, just going back to what you said about Brexit as well, there's almost like a liberal arrogance, and that's when you have problems, because everyone's like, okay, cool, you must believe this in order to be a reasonable person, you must think this in order to be a reasonable person, and then you don't make allowances for anything else. And when things come left field, you don't know how to deal with it. So for us, we always have to remain neutral. Capital Moments will always have to remain neutral, simply because it's not our place to tell you what to think. It's our place to give you to disseminate the information, and then you can draw your opinions from that. So for us, it's just like, I mean, even in the election, like, you know, and that's the beauty of having a wide team as well, because maybe me personally, I might not be motivated to do something. However, there are a number of us, so somebody else can pick it up. You have to be accountable to yourself to know what you're capable of, what you're not capable of doing, and everyone else can kind of pick up from that as well. We kind of all know each other. We all know our strengths and weaknesses, so we'll be able to work like that.
Now, also, I want to get into how to get on the property ladder. You guys definitely have delved into that a lot, so I want to. What's your lot's take on it?
So it depends what you want to do, right? So are you looking to buy, sell it, or are you looking to get your own home?
Well, you asked directly at me. Like, I currently right now I'm chilling, but ask me the question. Go on.
So you're looking to buy, sell it? So you're looking to invest and rent out the property, or are you looking to get a home for yourself?
Hypothetically speaking, I would love to just buy a home for myself. So
if you want to buy a home for yourself, first thing you have to think about is getting a deposit, right? Once you can think about kind of price range, how much you can afford to save, and then once you think about that, then you can start thinking of what homes you can afford, and then going about the mortgage process from there. A lot of people do it the other way around, so they try to find out areas and properties where they'd love to live, and then they realise afterwards, I can't afford the mortgage on this, I can't afford to save the deposit. So you got to look at within yourself first. Look at your salary, your income for the month, for the year. From them, try to analyse and understand how much you can save in, say, a year, 2 year horizon. From there, okay, say for example you earn 40k and you think, okay, maybe I can save 15k a year. So in 2 years I can save 30k. 30k, 10% deposit, 300k house. Then you can start looking around areas where you can actually afford and buy a house of that kind of worth. And then you can go speak to mortgage brokers and go through the whole process of analysing what they can kind of provide to you in terms of mortgage assistance, in terms of what other schemes are out there. So a big thing a lot of people talking about at the moment is Help to Buy. So the scheme out at the moment is from the government, Help to Buy equity scheme, whereby for new builds in certain areas, I know there's one in this area, I think, like northwest, well, not that close,
Harrow, I think it is.
Harrow, and I think further down. But anyhow, the government allows you to buy a new build with only a 5% deposit. So the government will also contribute 40% an equity loan towards that property. So you only have to pay 55% mortgage. But the only kind of downfall is,
big downfall.
Big downfall
Massive.
is after 4 or 5 years, you now have to start paying interest on equity loan that the government's giving you. But a lot of belief, like some of our mates have done it. They've got their equity loan, they've got their new build, they're living nice and lavish. Their plan is to sell prior to that kind of 5-year kick-in period comes in. Because if you don't sell, you end up paying extra £100 to £200 on top of your normal mortgage.
Don't
So
they
it's
take money out when you sell?
another thing is as well is obviously if you do sell your property, the government is kind of guaranteed that 40%, anywhere between what they've invested in the house with you. So if you bought a house for 200k, they've put in 40%, that's 80k. If the house goes up to 300k, and when you sell the house, the government's entitled to 120k, that's 40% of the 300. So they're taking their share of the rise in that property. So that's the one thing to think about. Obviously, if you think that you're gonna sell quickly, it's still worthwhile, because if you're trying to get into the market, leveraging in terms of borrowing as much as you can is the best way in terms of getting a return on your money, because you could put down 5% on 200k, right, which is literally 10k. That's peanuts. People can save that in a year or two, right? And if that house goes up to 300k, then you're actually going to get much more back on your 10k you originally invested. So it's all up to what your mindset is, your risk appetite, how much you're willing, like how hungry you are to take risk, and what your kind of horizon is and where you think the market's going to move.
Would we say that London is a feasible place to live going forward, in terms of someone that's maybe coming out of uni straight away, or someone that really wants to create a future for themselves? Would we say moving out of London is more beneficial for them?
It depends. It depends. You know, it's like no one should ever really be compelled to move away from everything that they know just in order to have a comfortable life. But this is even something that we touched on recently. We partnered with one of our friends to make a video on like budgeting. Literally, just So it's those little things where you have to then start looking at your priorities, like and things that we struggle with, like delaying our gratification. You know, everyone kind of wants that. You know, you've got if you use the example of a uni student, you've got people in second year uni that are driving 2 Series BMW.
True.
And they've got that on the they've got that on the
Shout out to Jerome.
They've got that on the PCP. They don't even understand credit. Their first major credit is a £29,000 car, and you don't even have an income. You're using student loans to finance that kind of stuff. So it's all about that. And at the end of the day, there's always deals to be had. Even if you don't go for a new build, there are places that you can do up. So you can. One of our very good friends that runs a platform called the Property Cohort. So they're actually proper specialists on property. Yeah. So what they did was they found a few good deals on houses that were run down. So they were able to price down the houses, then they did them back up, and then they sold them. So there's opportunities in London. You just have to be switched on. You just have to know what you want to do. Like Lex said, like target what's possible for you. And so if there are places that are unaffordable, 800 grand homes in Elephant and Castle, where everyone there is not even on that kind of salary. It doesn't make sense. So obviously, like with gentrification, they're trying to price everybody out and stuff. But where there's a will, there's a way, and that goes for everything. So there's always deals to be had. There's always an opportunity and a possibility everywhere. Also,
one of your previous events too, Smart Money. Tell me about it.
Yeah, Smart Money was essentially a financial management event. So getting your financials in order. So trying to illustrate and educating the masses again on how they should kind of save their money, and if they do have kind of ample money to invest, where they can invest it. So we had like a property planner who came in and spoke to people about how they can kind of invest in property. We had another person who spoke about how they can kind of invest in small and medium-sized businesses. So you guys might know about equity crowdfunding. So a lot of businesses go on these crowdfunding platforms and request investment into their businesses at a very kind of small scale. So that's another kind of avid way to kind of get a crazy return on your money. Obviously there's risk involved, as I said, with any kind of investment. You can literally put 10 to 20 to 30 pounds, and then from there in another few years, if that company IPOs, if they list their company on a stock exchange, you could end up kind of quadrupling your money in just next to nothing. So there's investment ideas there that were kind of promoted at the event. Another quick plug I'd like to put in as well, as Ade mentioned, we featured on one of our friends' channels on YouTube, the transcript. So we literally went through, if you're interested in personal finance, we went through and how you should kind of organize your finances, how you can save, how you can invest, and how you can better budget going forward. So that was tied into the Smart Money event, all as one.
Nice.
So where did all of this come from? Like did you go to uni? Were you like accountants by trade, or like where's it
So
from?
it's a mixture, a mixture of us. Obviously, there's 6 of us. Myself, Lex. I studied economics. I'm currently a consultant in financial advisory, so I've got that kind of background understanding. Ade studied law. Obviously, he's now practicing to be an accountant, so he's got that understanding as well. We've got investment bankers in the team. We've got credit analysts in the team. We've got property analysts in the team. So it's not like we just read up on this stuff. Basically, yeah, we know this stuff like inside out. So we're trying to, as we educate ourselves, we're trying to give that to people for free, at times at a cost. Obviously, we need to eat as well. But we're trying to educate people so they don't have to face these same kind of struggles. Because as Ade said, we're trying to teach people everything they know at 25, they wish they know at 16. So it's like making sure the next generation of youth are ready for that next step.
Also, I wanted to say too, especially in this climate, I feel like there's a lot of new entrepreneurs, literally, as all across the board, especially in London, with the new technology and all that kind of sort. What kind of advice would you guys give someone that is thinking to themselves, right now, I want to start something, whether it be in the music business or anything, just own it themselves? How would you give them advice?
I definitely say be honest with yourself. So when you're going in, understand why you're doing it and make sure you're passionate behind the idea, because it's very easy, especially in social media age, to go along with the hype. Like you want to put it on Insta, on Twitter, I've got this new business, everyone's like, oh yeah everyone wants to be gas, everyone wants to be affiliated. When you have your first event, they're not there to be pushing you, so you got to make sure you're passionate behind the idea. Like it's crazy, like obviously we all work full time in our jobs, so Ade obviously travels a lot with his job. Like last year I had to work in Paris, so I was going to Paris Monday to Friday, and if you're not passionate about Capital Moments, how am I going to wake up and start doing stuff for Capital Moments when I'm in Paris? I could be sleeping. Another guy in the team, Josh, he was in New York for 3 months. So it's like you've got to make sure that passion is there first before you kind of invest yourself into a business idea. Once you realize that passion is there first, make sure you get the right team within yourself. So as Ade said, we make sure we share our responsibilities. If that's not there, you're not going to get forward. So make sure you've got the passion behind the behind your idea. Make sure you've got the right team going forward, and make sure you plan as well with regards to your time, because it gets very difficult to put yourself across a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, business is more than ego. Because I mean, look how
like
many businesses. Look how many businesses have started. You've got people that are CEOs of a company that's not even registered on Company's House. You can't be a CEO. You don't have
the Twitter bio.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Twitter bio. Board of directors. You know what I'm saying. So
moving wigs on the side.
Yeah. So exactly. So and the thing is, there's nothing wrong with the hustle, because if it makes you money, all you have to do is okay, cool. Let me start learning things. A lot of people don't even necessarily have that business understanding. So start asking people that have failed. A very easy way of learning is to find somebody that took 30 years to make something, because they can tell you every mistake they made in 30 minutes. So start learning. What do I need to do? What are my actual weaknesses? What can I not do? I am not good at numbers. Cool. Okay. I might need to start budgeting so that some of the income I'm bringing in, I might need to go to an accountant that can help me out, or somebody that you know that's good at that stuff. A lot of people don't want to share. A lot of people also don't have the patience. It's almost like a lot of people that have this problem are like people that run events, where you now have somebody that wants to come and do 50-50, and they're like, yeah, but bang, I want 50% profit straight away. You don't even have the patience to even see it grow as well. So there's so much stuff that you have to do on the inside before you can even decide to run the business.
Add on to Ade's point about patience. So with regards to events, as we spoke about, we only had our first event in 2016, but we were founded in 2014. It's about patience, about believing in your craft and your kind of team, so that once you get to that stage, you can actually do an event. If we did an event within 2 months, no one would have came, right? Because we didn't have the following, we didn't have the platform, right? So you have to understand that as well. So it's all about timing, and when it comes where. So that's what you got to be waiting for.
Organic growth is important, because for us, we're at that place where if we tell someone that someone is an expert, they have no choice but to believe us.
True indeed.
Because they've been following us on Twitter for years, so they know that if we say something, chances are it's probably true. So yeah, they are going to come in and pay 10 or 15 or 20 quid for our tickets. That's why our events sell out always 30 minutes, first batch gone, simply because people know and trust our word. So if you have a business and you're trying to sell a product and people don't even trust your word, so even if it's something as simple as weave, if people can't even trust that your weave is going to be quality,
Real. Something as simple as squeeze. That's a soundbite. You might have to take that one.
Quality of service and good. Believe in your product.
Integrity in everything, both as a person and as a business. Businesses that lack integrity are finished. They will once people don't believe in your product, you're dead.
Man's out here preaching, you know.
Real. Let him go.
Wait,
Let him go.
Watch the transcript video, you know.
We should.
Right.
We definitely should.
Come like Shimiloa. You don't know KICC.
KICC.
KICC. It's not. She knows, man. Tune in.
I should. Now, also, listen. This is intelligence. This is black intelligence. I'm gonna say black intelligence most definitely. I just want to emphasize that. But guys, I just want to throw a little spanner in the works here. Just find out if you guys, Labour or Conservative.
What?
Labour or Conservative? It was a simple question.
I can't lie, neither. I didn't vote for either.
Interesting.
I'll be honest with you.
Did you vote? Okay.
Why did I vote?
Why didn't you vote?
No, I didn't vote for either. I didn't say I didn't vote.
Okay.
I said I didn't vote for either during the election. Reason being, from my standpoint, I didn't respect the Tories, what they wanted to do.
True indeed.
Labour, they had some great kind of policies and what they wanted to do and what they wanted to implement. But studying economics, I saw it very difficult for them to be able to implement what they promised economically. So Corbyn was saying, I'm gonna scrap tuition fees, allow the young kids to go to uni for free,
which he's now gone back on.
The money's not there, so how was he gonna do it? Right?
Not there.
Whereas Conservatives, for example, they were planning to do a lot of different things with regards to Brexit that I wasn't too happy with, so I couldn't vote for them either. So I just went down the middle.
Yeah, see, now I've been I wear my heart on my sleeve. I've been a Labour Party member since I was like 16.
Real?
Yeah, I've been paying my fees for years. So and that's the thing. That's the beauty. You would never know that. One of the founders of Capital Moments is an actual Labour Party member. That's why it's important to keep the account neutral. That's why I say if you come on my personals during the election, you might see a couple 1 or 2 red tweets, not even 1 or 2, maybe 1 or 200. But you know what I'm saying. So that's where I'm. That's where I've thrown my hat. It doesn't move.
So irrespective of what they're proposing, but saying it doesn't move.
Do you know why?
Stick on air.
Very good question.
Let me tell you why. Because even in when Jeremy Corbyn ran the second time, and I was looking at it and I thought, hold on a second, let me vote for this guy, and I voted for him simply because the dominant argument at the time was the party would become unelectable. But sometimes you have to be able to you have to understand, in this country especially, politics is very cyclical. So you can tell we live in such a predictable society because there's times where everyone's suffering, so you need someone to come in and fix it. That costs money. Somebody's going to come in and save, but they save too much, which means that everyone's suffering again, so then they're going to have to come in and fix it. So it's that cycle. So regardless, so for me, ideologically, I stand in one particular place, and for me, just like I can wait until the cycle's there. So I don't necessarily have to be active. I might not even vote, but I'll still continue to fund. It's not expensive. I'll continue to fund the party because at the end of the day, there will always be a rising star that will come out when the time comes. So just because I might not feel who the leader is at that particular point in time, I can stand back, but it doesn't mean that I abandon the party. And especially just when you look at historical factors and everything, sometimes you just need to have your principles and stay by them. And even if your principles don't correspond with the day, there will always be a time where that's needed again. So for me, that's where I sit.
Do you agree with everything that Jeremy Corbyn does?
No, I can't agree with everything because he's a maverick. He's too much of a maverick. So I'm saying but I understand the importance of having a maverick sometimes. So sometimes you need someone to shake the table to be like to dead off the mediocrity, because the Labour Party was becoming too mediocre. Everyone was looking the same. Everyone wanted to try the same thing. When Miliband was the leader, they were telling him he was too leftist. So how can he be too leftist when we have Corbyn now and he's more electable? So sometimes you even need to think and say these dominant narratives are really just hot air. So you just have to be patient and wait it out. That's how I see it.
Right. So Capital Moments in the next 5 years. Where is Capital Moments and what is Capital Moments doing?
Sounds like a question.
Business booming.
It's real. It's real.
No, hopefully.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's the thing. We didn't even talk about the ebook. So obviously, we're all about pushing the masses and helping the next generation. We've actually got an ebook out at the moment called Capital Moments Guide to Graduate Jobs and Internships. So it's we do workshops. We do workshops already for university students. So we've done workshops/seminars at City University, Southampton, Kent, and Royal Holloway.
There was even a beautiful story from City.
They're open to the public to an extent, but we work with specific societies in their universities, and they invite us down to speak and talk to the youth, basically. But yeah, we got the ebook out. Capital Moments Guide to Graduate Jobs and Internships. It kind of goes through the whole process of initially applying to a role and a job, from the initial CV stage all the way to putting together a cover letter, to interview, all the way to actually starting an internship and how going through the whole process. But even simple stuff like what to buy if you're not from London and you're doing an internship in London, where to live, going forward at the end of the internship, how to kind of act and go forward. And then if you do get a graduate job, or if you get a general job, how can you keep yourself upskilled? So professional qualifications you can attain in whatever sector, whether that be finance, business, law, fashion, etc. And we also start off as well kind of detailing different industries you can get involved in and get into. So it's really kind of educative stuff. Like, it's really good for the youth. Obviously, as we said, we all gotta eat. So it's $3.99. It's on the website. It's on the website. If you go to our website, go to the CM.
Buy it for your younger cousins.
If you're past that stage where you're already making the moolah, you already got your house, get it for your younger cousin that's in uni struggling. Obviously, around the corner's payday again. Just have to mention it.
He's mentioned it 3 times in the same. He's like, payday's coming, people.
It's coming, people. So yeah, make sure you kind of get that for your younger cousins, brothers, sisters, all of that.
That's at www.capital-moments.com/shop. So nice and easy.
There we go.
Yeah.
And talking about the future, obviously you guys know, you spoke about CM Smart Money. We're also kind of interested in doing a personal finance book.
Okay.
So illustrating everything we said just now on videos and putting it down into written format to kind of get you guys organized with your budgeting, how you can save better, how you can invest in property, invest in assets, etc. So that's another thing to look out for in the next year or two, and continue kind of progress Capital Moments as we are now, man.
Nice, definitely.
I mean, just, we mentioned seminars and workshops earlier. The one last year we went to City. It was quite small last year, wasn't it? This year it was a lot larger than it was. And a beautiful story came up, because right at the end of it, one of the guys came up as always, and he was just like, and this is a room full of people from loads of different disciplines, from loads of different places, and he was like, and there were a lot of people that also contributed to the seminars, like a whole day's workshop. And he was like, the only reason why he was there was because he found out that we were going to be there. And he, like, you know what I'm saying? And that literally is that's where being a social enterprise, as much as the ebook goes out for £4, there's not a lot of money. Our workshops are for free, our events nominal, £10 for your average person. That we don't really take in much income from what we do. So that's essentially the payback that we get. If somebody can come to you and say the only reason why they made the journey on a Saturday morning, so uni that they don't go to, dressed up in a suit, just to listen for the day, with a whole load of other people there, but they were just waiting for you guys to come for your own 45-minute segment. That means the world to us, and we're just trying to basically increase our base so that we have so many more stories. So there's so many more people that are saying, I read your ebook, I got an interview out of it, or I went on your Twitter page and I learned some stuff and I used that in an interview. We get that kind of stuff all the time. So we're just trying to keep on, make sure that continues to grow, so that we're just reaching out to more people, and obviously internationally as well. Our website especially, our articles have quite a wide global reach. I mean, there's people in South Africa that read stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to get their global, commercial awareness going. So yeah, we're trying to, increase our offering to the point where we're now more globally relevant as well. So writing really interesting stuff.
What's your guys' socials?
Yeah, mine's Alex London, LEKZ LDN.
Mine's the 15 Swiss on Twitter. So yeah.
Oh, it's you!
Wow.
He's like, you added me 2 weeks ago. But yeah, guys, Capital Moments, you definitely need to go follow them. They've got a show coming up too, Chat and Chill.
Chat and Chill,
24th of August.
Revolutions Bar, 24th of August. Make sure you're there. We got drinks, canapes, education, all of that.
Canopies, man.
All of that.
Man said canopies, you know, even
Canopies. Who said canopies?
Right.
Hey, reload the track.
Right,
Where's
so
your
guys,
visa? Your visa expired. That's why.
Nah, bro.
Capital
Let me not
Moments.
lie to you, fam.
It's
let's
really
give them a
personal.
clap out here, guys. Let's give them a clap. These guys have been real,
Guys, thanks for
genuine.
having us.